People who used to be vegetarians, vegans, what made you stop? Realized I was using being vegan as an excuse to enable my eating disorder. Less options for me to eat. Almost never had to eat out with friends, family, or on the holidays. I do love animals, earth, and told myself that's why I was vegan, but I don't fully know. I couldn't fully recover until I had a less restrictive diet. Italy. Found out my body just trends towards anemia. I was vegetarian for 5 years as a teenager and just dealt with it, but then I got really ill and my doctor basically told me I would need monthly iron infusions or I could eat meat again. I chose meat. Tried to go back to vegetarianism recently but felt such an enormous drop in energy levels I just couldn't maintain it. I was a vegetarian for 10 years and honestly I just felt like it was too much of a pain. I still limit my meat. I won't prepare it for myself, and if given a vegetarian option I will choose that. But if someone prepares meat for me or there aren't other options easily available, I'll eat it. I was vegetarian for over a decade but was constantly having to take iron supplements. To make matters worse, my body was not absorbing the vegetarian sources of iron, including loads of leafy greens or even vegetarian iron supplements at all. No change after 6 months. And I had to use the ones from animal sources anyway. I felt I gave it a good hot go. Once I started exercising I was always tired and hungry too. I don't eat all meats. I eat kangaroo. It's overpopulated here in cull. And fish, but I'm actually making progress in fitness and no longer exhausted. A change in health circumstances led to a doctor-recommended restrictive diet, which meant cutting out a number of fruits and vegetables. Couple that with gluten intolerance and veganism and I could barely eat anything. I had to prioritize my health. Way too many of the vegetarian, vegan substitutes rely on tree nuts, peanuts, soy, which I'm severely allergic to. As it is, I follow a mostly pescatarian diet, unless someone else wants to do the cooking for me. A family friend went veggie and then vegan years back. He had to go back to being vegetarian because he was losing too much weight and went to the doctor, complaining of being tired. He eventually went back to eating meat every now and again on the same basis. He's the kind of person that embarks on a new concept and throws himself into it. Absolutely 100% dedicated until it fizzles out. I recall at the time he was drinking wheatgrass and avoiding alcohol and all sorts of other things not necessary for veganism. But he had bought into a whole lifestyle and ran with it. It was no wonder the weight was shedding off him. For reference, I've been vegetarian for over 2 decades. And I know lots and lots of veggies and vegans who've maintained it for years with no issues and no need for special supplements or doctor's advice. This guy just has a personality that's somewhat incompatible with a highly prescriptive diet. Becoming a mother. If I don't eat leftover chicken nuggets, I don't eat. Also, when I realized me being vegan was just an excuse to maintain control over my eating disorder, lol. I was vegetarian for over 20 years. While having chemotherapy I was craving protein, so went back to meat. Later lived off-grid and ate our own chickens, pigs and goats. Vegan for almost a decade. Conveniently was also a great way to hide my eating disorder. Additionally, IBS. I almost died from malnutrition 2 weeks ago. I'm literally 120 pounds at my best and couldn't think or get out of bed anymore. I realized that I cannot live a restrictive lifestyle while simultaneously dealing with a abnormal ed. My mom went through all kinds of trendy diets while I was growing up. She started pescatarian, then vegetarian, then vegan. then raw vegan. She bounced around all of those for a while until the last 5 or so years when she got into CrossFit and went paleo and now keto. I am moderate to severely anemic and have been my whole life. I only got meat when my stepdad wanted to grill or if we went out to eat. So I was involuntarily vegetarian, vegan. I'm much happier now and not constipated from having to take cheap iron supplements all the time. I once was a person who ate no egg. Until one day I felt a numb tingle in my leg. With my doctor I did delve and learned it was lack of B12. So now I scramble them up on the reg. I've been vegetarian for 9 years, nearly 10. Recently started eating fish after a trip to Texas. Got tired of always being so limited on food options. Since eating fish again, I have much more energy and feel quite healthy. Cooking and meal planning is also significantly easier. I've tried to be a vegetarian 2 different times in my life. Both times I had to stop after a few months because I got tired of having no energy. Feeling tired all the time and having problems concentrating. And yes, I was taking all the recommended supplements and vitamins at the times. As soon as I switched over to a more omnivorous diet, all the bad symptoms went away in a few days. Today I do eat meat, but I try to keep my consumption down and only do it about 2 times per week. This seems to be the best balance for me. I wanted to travel more, and it always sucked not being able to properly experience a kitchen of whatever country. Apart from that, I just didn't feel like it anymore. No idea why. Was very rigid with it for 7 years. Life is weird. A car crash. I was badly injured and lost a lot of blood. Afterwards I could barely eat, but I kept craving a cheeseburger. My friend took me to Macy's and Elle got me one, saying if my body needs it then it needs it. I was diagnosed with anemia shortly after and told I can either take iron tablets, have shots once a month, or just have meat occasionally. I took the fish, burger and occasional chicken breast root. Sometimes I try new meats. I was a veggie for 10+ years. And I still can't cook meat apart from fish. But I tend to be curious, and if there's lamb to try I will. But I still hate processed meat. I won't touch sausages or sandwich meat, etc. I got pregnant and all I could think about was eating meat. I had no issues being vegan. Had energy and everything, but during my pregnancy I felt like if I really crave it that much there must be a reason. So included it in my diet again. After that I still have plenty of plant-based meals, but I also eat meat and eggs when I feel like.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.